Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching the Cheryle Hubbard Show. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Glad you could join me. Yes, in my previous video, I talked about, just want to give a little news first. But first I want to give honor to God and say, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for starting me on my way. And thank you, God, for giving me the many blessings that you have given me over the years. And I want to send my prayers out send prayers out to all the people around the world. Everybody needs prayer. We all need prayer. And this coronavirus is really touching the world. It's touching the world and has taken a lot of lives. So it has taken a lot of lives. So first I want to start out with saying, CDC. So if you go to the CDC's website, you can get all the information that you need. CDC's website, and also you can go to the World Health Organization's website, and they will give you, all the information that you need. But I usually watch the news on a daily basis, so I'm pretty much up to date. But it's a lot of information. It seems like things change every day. When I look at the news, a new person, has contracted the coronavirus. So what the CDC is saying, wash your hands. You really supposed, we should have already been washing our hands, on a regular, But they are saying that, wash your hands when you come out the bath, before you come out the bathroom. Wash your hands. I guess, wash them before you eat. Wash them when you get up in the morning. You take a shower. Make sure you wash your hands. Wash your hands definitely when you come out the bathroom. Before you come out the bathroom, wash your hands. And then they're saying, I think I said 20 minutes. No, I think I said 20 minutes yesterday, but I believe it's 20 seconds. So wash your hands 20 seconds. Sometimes maybe we may need to wash our hands, 4 or 5 times a day. Just get some Dove soap, some Ivory soap. Try not to use a lot of soap that, has a lot of chemicals. And in my opinion, I would, a lot of chemicals and fragrances. Try to get that. Probably would be a good idea to get some of that natural soap, Ivory or Dove. Those seem like the best 2 brands. And also they're saying that if someone is sick, if you notice someone's sick, coughing and sneezing, they're saying stay 3 feet away from them. So in other words, don't let people cough all up in your face. Don't let nobody cough all up in your face and your nose, basically all in your face. And they're saying about the mask, the mask that covers your nose and your mouth. They're saying that if you are not sick, you don't need to wear those masks. The people, and they say we're health professionals. So 9 times out of 10, when we go to our appointments, our doctor's appointments, the health professionals, they may have those, cover their nose and their mouth. So they saying that CDC and the World Health Organization, they are saying that health professionals should have those. And in other words, people that if you're sick, they say wear them. In other words, you got a cold, you have the flu, you have a cold, you have the flu, or you have the coronavirus, then those masks are for you to wear. Cover your nose and your mouth. But people that's not sick, they're urging us not to wear those masks, So that is that. So in other words, that is the mask situation. And then stay 3 feet away from people. If you see someone, you notice someone coughing and sneezing, stay 3 feet away from them. And then just, go to the CDC's website and go to the World Health Organization's website. So then, now let me see, I have information that I had recorded. I have, jotted down my notes. So in other words, we have China, South Korea, Italy, Iran, Japan, and now California. Uh, they have uh, they have confirmed. We have they have I think it's one. What they do say is one that is one person that is infected with the coronavirus, and they have no link. They have no link to China, and they have no link to a known person that has it. In other words, they trying to figure out how they contracted it if they didn't come in contact with no one that was infected, and no one that was infected. They didn't come into contact. So that's the first one in California, and then South America, and then now they're saying that it's 60. Well, they said it yesterday. 60 people in the U.S. that you know that seem to be infected with the coronavirus, and I believe some of them came from the that cruise ship. Some of them was on that cruise ship. Uh, so some of them were on that cruise ship. Make it plural. And then now also they're saying some areas are suspending transportation. Some area universities. Some of the universities maybe in around the country, I guess they're saying that some of them have suspended their travel transportation. Um, in other words, these school universities that has students studying abroad. So those are the ones. Some of those are suspending they're suspending those trips too. And also in I believe it's Japan. I think it is. Let me make sure that is on my notes. I think it's Japan. Yeah, Japan. Japan will be they'll be closing some of the, I guess all of their elementary schools. Japan will be closing all their elementary, and I believe they did say junior high schools too until March. So that's Japan because they have some cases in Japan, so that's a good idea. And also Trump said in his speech yesterday that they did close the borders, and they're not allowing certain people, people from those infected countries enter the United States. And also, airplane flights are not going to those infected countries. So that's, so they're trying their best to contain this virus so it won't spread. So it's already, and it's saying, they also saying that it's in every continent except Antarctica. So that's something to think about. So I think that is it for the coronavirus. Let me see if I have any other information that I jotted down for the coronavirus. I think that's all the information because I don't want, I want to try to, give my information in some type of order. Okay, I think that is it for the coronavirus, the information. Yes, that's it for the corona. So, I think that's it for the coronavirus. Oh, one more thing. And I think this news was given yesterday. Coca-Cola, they said they are saying that they are having problems with getting their ingredients. They're not having problems, but in other words, I guess the area where they get their ingredients for their Coca-Cola drinks, the sodas, that's going to slow down the products because slow down the sales of their Coca-Cola products, their sodas and stuff, because I said Coca-Cola says there are slowdowns of ingredients used to make Coca-Cola products. So in other words, there's a slowdown of ingredients used to make the Coca-Cola products because I guess the products was coming from were coming from the areas that were infected with this coronavirus, so that's slowing down. So in other words, if they have to, they have to stop, making those Coca-Colas, that would be, really something. Um, but I think that's all for the coronavirus. And I did say some area universities, yeah, they're suspending, uh, certain travels to those infected areas. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for the coronavirus. So, oh yeah, and another thing, you know, like they said, continue to wash your hands as frequently as need be. Uh, I guess it's not the time to have a lot of these social gatherings. You should not be right. You should not be wearing a mask. And CDC updates. So go to the CDC website and the World Health Organization's website so you can get all the information that you need. So okay, that is that for the coronavirus. And then I have, let me see what other news I have. So I want to move over to, I was watching the news earlier this morning, and they had a gentleman on there from Montgomery County right here in Maryland, and they have a program. They try to, bring back safer roads. So they have this program, this initiative, I guess they call it, the Vision Zero, where they are analyzing their data because they had a lot of crashes, car crashes, and over the past few years. So by 2030, by 2030, they are trying to, lessen or make the percentage go down. The rates, I guess you could say, the crash rates, they're trying to make those go down by 2030 by offering this program called Vision Zero. And they said six pedestrians in Montgomery County have gotten killed, got hit by cars and stuff. So they're looking at the crash data, design standards, research analytics, and they're trying, looking at the reconstruction. They're doing a reconstruction unit survey of certain areas, so that way they can see, they have certain people that will do their job. That way they can see, once you analyze things and do your research, and so they have come up with this Vision Zero to, to alleviate the pedestrian deaths out there in Montgomery County. So then I have another story right here where they are having it's in Spain, Barcelona, Spain, where they are using 3D printers to make plant-based steaks. So when they showed that on the news, I was like, what, really? But the steaks did look like those little steakums that come in a box. We used to buy those steakums are pretty good. I used to cook them, put some cheese on them, put them on, a sub bread or just regular bread, and you have a good meal. You have a good sandwich, put lettuce and mayonnaise on it. And so then I also have information. Walmart, they're going to be starting in-home delivery for their workers. In-home delivery, in other words, the workers will be renting. They're going to help them rent the houses, I guess. I guess they're going to provide the houses for the employees, and then they're going to be doing in-home delivery, training them, I guess, in-home delivery workers. So, in other words, I guess they'll be delivering, whatever they're delivering to people's houses, I guess. I don't really actually know how that's going to work, but they said that, in-home delivery workers, they're going to, I guess, Walmart will be providing these houses. So, I guess, more information on that, you can always go to Walmart's website. And don't know exactly how that will be working. And then also there is, I had one more CDC information, one more CDC where it say CDC facial hair warning. So I didn't get all the information on that because I had to leave the room. But it said the CDC has a facial hair warning, and they had all the different on the news they had all the different pictures of, you know, people's hair, facial hair. It was about, looked like about 50 of them. But you can always go to the CDC's website, Center for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization, and go to their website, and you can probably get all the, that's what they say, you get all updated information that you need. Oh, this is one, it's another story right here, another bit of information. It's for this weekend. It's called the Blue Runway for Autism. It's a fashion show this weekend. But they have it on a cruise ship, and it's run by a gentleman named Ron Cook from Lord and Taylor. Blue Runway for Autism. You can go to Blue Runway for Autism at gmail.com, and tickets, I don't know if they have any more tickets left, but you can go to Blue Runway for Autism at gmail.com. So they showed, you know, on the news this morning, they showed, you know, they had a little fashion show, just a little touch of what they had, you know. But I thought it would have been good if they would have had some of the, it's for autism, you know, I have my books on autism. So this is my fourth book that I wrote on autism. My Brother Billy is Different. So that's My Brother Billy is Different. And this is, you know, this is just my printout copy that I have. This is just my printout copy. This is just my printout copy. So, you know, I plan to have Digipod print, you know, print this. So this is already, it's in the ebook. It's on the ebook. It's as an ebook, you know, on in the Google Play Store. So since we are twins, we have autism, and this is My Brother Billy is Different. So My Brother Billy is Different. You can, you know, it's in the Google Play Store as an ebook. It's just something for the kids to read. You know, they can read it on their tablet, and you know, read it on their tablet. I mean, I don't know if they have a cell phone, but the tablet ebooks on, you can read it on what you call it, Kindle. If you have a Kindle, kids have a Kindle, you know. And then another thing they said for the kids, they were talking about on the news, the kids under 18 months shouldn't be on, I think they had a doctor, they had a pediatrician on there, but you can always go to, what's that, Fox 5 News, you know, in Washington, D.C., Fox 5 News. Go to their website, Fox 5 News in D.C., and then they had a pediatrician on there talking, and he was saying that, you know, children under 18 months should not be, you know, on the internet or using, or just sitting there all day with a, you know, tablet or Kindle, because that, you know, is not good for them. I believe it's not good for, basically it's not good for them mentally, and probably, you know, you know, socialization. So it's better for them to probably socialize with their friends rather than being on, you know, on a computer all day. That's why sometimes even me, I be on here when I'm doing my videos, but other than that, I'm not on the computer all day. You know, I get out, move around, walk around, about whether I'm going to get my groceries or, you know, doing other work, you know. But so you know, so I just wanted to mention that since I was talking about this, you know, computers and stuff. So let me see. And also, yeah, because this is my next one. I was talking about screen time for kids. It says they say you can go to the World Health Organization. They can probably tell you a lot about everything. The coronavirus, you know, different things. Health is about health. World Health. Go to the World Health Organization's website, CDC's website, because the pediatrician, yeah, the dude said, watch your kids from 18 to 24 months. You know, watch the time that they are on those little tablets and Kindles and different things like that. So, and then I have, let me see what's next. Oh, and then if you are an alumni of the University of Maryland and right in Maryland, it's out there. They out there in Maryland. They have something now they have called the Food at the Hall. So it's just basically, to me, on the news, it looked like it was a like a food court. A food court where you order your food, and they have probably different incentives, different programs and things there, so that you can, you might want to purchase. They may be selling juice, coffee, potato chips, and different things. So they said it is open to anyone that wants to come, alumni of the University of Maryland, alumni and regular current students, and anybody they said everyone is welcome. So that is a great business. That is a great business venture. That's a great business strategy because you open your doors to everybody. That's pulling in, bringing all that revenue in, bringing in income for that university. So it's called the Food at the Hall, and that's on the University of Maryland campus. So check with them. I don't have their website, but check with the University of Maryland campus, and you can find out, a lot of things that you need to find out. And then another one I have here, Making the Band. Puff Daddy is coming back. Yeah, on the news I heard, where they were showing that he had just had his fourth surgery. I think he fell a few times, and but his sons were on the news this morning, Fox 5 right here in Washington D.C. So his sons will be, I think they're having first auditions. I believe they said tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know if it's tomorrow, but I know it's, you probably can, maybe Puff Daddy or, one of his sons may have a website, but it says they looking for R&B, male and female a cappella singers. So they're looking for people that can sing, really sing, they say. That's what they said on there. People that can really sing, you can really blow, R&B. And they said Puff Daddy will be streaming from his, he'll be streaming from wherever he's going to be at, but his sons will be, pretty much taking over. Not fully taking over, but he's going to be somewhere in the background looking at things, make sure everything is, make sure it's done right, I guess. Because then they had one young lady on there, she was talking about how the music industry will make or break you. So because Wisdom Martin, he was asking her why they came back with this, why did they come back with Making a Band? And he was like, she was like, well, it's because it was the right thing to do. Because there's a lot of talent out there, and a lot of times people have talent, but they don't have access to the right people that can put them right where they need to be in the music business. Because you have scammers out there, and just like any other business and any other, venture, even in the music business, you have scammers, you have people that's not on the up and up to tell you, hey, I can get you, blah, 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 and, do this. If you do this and do that, I can make you a big star. So we already know how that goes. But so that's what she's saying, that people have the talent, but they don't have the means, and they don't have the way to come to, make it happen. So, and Winston Martin of Fox 5 News, he was saying, so that's what she was telling him. And then she was saying that in the music industry, it will make or break you, and there's a lot of cutthroat things that goes on. So we already heard a lot of stories about that. And then they said Diddy will be live streaming the acts from home or wherever. I don't know where he's going to be, but I think, yeah, they say the auditions start tomorrow. That's why I jotted down. And then they'll be having auditions in New York, March the 21st, but probably find out, they didn't give a website. So maybe you can browse around online. So, if you are a great R&B singer, they doing auditions in different states. So they didn't mention Washington, D.C., but they did mention New York. I did jot that down. I said New York will be March 21st. So let me see what else I have. Okay. And then they will be having They are having I didn't get the date on this one, but I think it's I don't have a date on this, but it's going to be Reverend. They have a gentleman on there. His name was Reverend Williams of AME Church, Metropolitan AME Church. They will be having some type of program. I didn't get the date on that, but oh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I guess you can go to Fox 5 News. They have a website, so they usually when you go on the Fox 5 News website here in Washington D.C., they usually can tell you everything that you know everything that everything that they have on their program for that particular day. And so they were talking about it's basically a program to help the LGBTQ community. And I think they said the doors will be open at 6:30, but doors open at 5:30, but the program started at 6:30. So I didn't get the date. I don't know why I didn't write the date down. I don't know if that's the day or tomorrow, but you can check that out if you are interested in that. So it's a good program because it says leaders. When they're talking about leaders should be anyone. Leaders should be anyone. In other words, they're telling that I guess the program would be consisting of leaders can be anyone. No matter race, creed, color, no matter if you're disabled or no matter if you're from the LGBTQ community. So we all can be leaders, no matter, there should be no discrimination. So you can if you check out Fox 5 News, check out their website. And right here in Washington, D.C., and then, you could, get that information. Probably can get information on all these stories that I mentioned. All these, okay, and I think this will be, okay. I think I think I have one more right here. This just the information on the coronavirus. I think this is the last one. They said it's to this day there are 82,446 people that have been infected with the coronavirus. That's globally, and 14. They said 14 in the United States, but they said 14 in the United States. Then somebody said 60. So right here, but I heard both, 14. I'm like, which one is it? But I guess you can go to the World Health Organization's website, CDC, the Center for Disease Control's website. But they did say 82,446 people. Now, look, that is something to worry about. But they tell us, don't worry. Don't worry. Just, do what they tell us to do. Wash your hands after you eat. Before you eat, wash your hands definitely before you come out the bathroom. And don't when you're moving around, traveling about, try not to go places that unnecessary places. You going unnecessary places. People, going to work and different things that they have to. But in other words, don't touch a whole lot of things. In other words, they're saying that don't walk around touching counters and just putting your hands on everything. Once you wash your hands before you leave your house, but I guess when you enter the building where you work at, you maybe can wash your hands again. That would be a good idea. You wash your hands when you leave your house, before you leave your house, and then when you get to work, or if you go to the grocery store, or don't try to. But you have to. If we go to the grocery store, we're gonna have to pick up the food. We don't have to do a lot of touching on the counter. Just pick up what we want, put it in our cart. But if we want to work, and they saying, don't be doing a lot of putting your hands on everything. Because they said you have to constantly wash your hands. We have to constantly wash our hands. So they said 82,446 cases globally of this coronavirus. So it is a virus. So they're telling elderly people, older people, if you have respiratory problems, won't be a good idea to, do a lot of traveling as far as getting on an airplane. So it's a whole lot. Then they have, it's best to go to the CDC's website because they have travel information too. They have travel information. In other words, people still flying. I never flew I never have, I have never gotten on an airplane and flew anywhere. So, but they're telling people, they have rules for that too. So getting on an airplane, and whenever you get on an airplane and you get on there, you just get on the airplane, just sit down in the seat. Do you wipe? I guess to me, I'm gonna wipe my seat off before I sit down. Wipe my seat off before I sit down. I'm not gonna be touching on everything, but so they have, just go to the CDC's website, Center for Disease Control. Go to their website. Go to World Health Organization's website, and yeah. So as I mentioned before, stay 3 feet away from someone coughing or sneezing, at least 3 feet away. So that's it for the coronavirus that I have for today. So I'll be bringing information every day because I look at the news every morning. So I'm gonna be bringing my little information on that. And then I was talking about my book. So this is my third book. The other two books, I did a video. Well, I mentioned it on a couple of my videos, my other two books. So same thing with this. This, it's in it's an ebook in the Google Play Store. So check this out. My brother Billy is different. So just something for the kids to read. Oh, and so also I might as well go into this book first. In other words, if you know somebody with autism, this book right here is based on autism. My brother Billy is different. So if you have someone with autism, this right here is a good book. Visual Thinking Strategies for Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorders. So this book right here, is thinking, visual thinking strategies for individuals with autism spectrum. So just want to, let me see. Okay, it says right here, there are 4 stages of cognitive development parallel to the acquisition of the meaning of the language of pictures. Using pictures to help develop the language of pictures requires that the pictures match the child's cognitive thinking. So in other words, you have a child with autism, or you have a friend or family member that has autism. In other words, showing them the pictures, they may respond and understand better by looking at pictures, as opposed to you just talking about that person. In other words, you're talking about that person to them, a relative, or even if you're talking about a dog or cat or family member, and you're just talking, but you don't have no pictures to show them, so they can understand you better, and they can understand the world better through pictures. So in other words, I have if I'm talking, to a relative or a kid in my class, or I'm a teacher, or whatever, and I'm talking about I'm talking about zoo animals, elephants, giraffes, zebras, and I'm just talking. But if I show that child pictures of those items or those animals, they may get a better understanding. So when it says the more meaning a picture has that relates to the child, the less language the child has to bring to the picture. Therefore, pictures with more agents, actions, and objects are easier for a child to understand and use for learning than pictures that lack agents, actions, and objects. So in other words, you have pictures that have more objects and agents in them. They're saying that the kid can understand better. They can learn. I guess they have more effective learning when you have those, you have more pictures. It says very low functioning children can use pictures for learning if they are literally drawn into the pictures so that the picture matches what they are doing. Higher order thinkers are able to gradually use fewer and fewer details within pictures because they have more language. But if a learner does not have much meaning about a concept, pictures that match the learner's lower level of thinking must be used. Pictures of objects or people do not provide much meaning and therefore can result in a child responding to them in a conditional response format rather than from a conceptual viewpoint. When the child does not use concepts for perceiving the meaning of a visual, the visual does not provide much language or cognitive development. Therefore, the child will stay at the language or cognitive level that he already uses. However, pictures that match a child's cognitive level can be arranged to plan a child's increase in language and cognitive development. So they're giving you information to say that, I mean, I think to me, my opinion too as well, I think we all learn, I mean, that seems natural that we all learn better from pictures. That's just like somebody coming to me and talking to me about, Asia, Africa, Hawaii, just standing there talking. But I would learn better. In other words, they come to me and they talking to me about, Hawaii, the water is beautiful, this happens in Hawaii, the climate, the weather is, the weather is nice. Well, whatever they're saying about Hawaii. But if they show me some pictures while they're talking to me, in other words, they create they create a PowerPoint slide and they're talking to me, you know, they're talking to me about Hawaii and they showing me a PowerPoint slide of, how Hawaii looks and the things that there's. I mean, I think I would have a better understanding of Hawaii looking at those pictures in that PowerPoint slide. So not only with autistic children, I think that would sit well with any of us as far as the learning process. That's just like when you go to college, teachers stand up in the front of the class and they talking, and 9 times out of 10 we have our books open while the instructor is in front of the class talking. So when we have our books open, we can visualize better. We can visualize. We learn it through visual learning. So they saying that's good. That's why it's good for autistic children too. So that's how that should be. I mean, that's not how it should be, but I mean, I figure that's how learning takes place. That's how learning takes place. They said, what types of concept does a child understand? What types of concepts does a child understand if he can point to a picture to represent multiple meanings? They have one picture, and then the picture may have more than one meaning. It says, for a child who needs to develop concepts in order to increase cognition and language, multiple pictures drawn in real time are easier to understand than a single use of a symbolized concept. So this is a nice book. I think I ordered this book from Amazon too. Let's see what else they have on here. And it says, and also, autistic children learning through pictures. They can learn also through socializing, using pictures. It says social skills are products of the learning system. So when adults make visuals about social skills, the visuals are abstract pictures showing a product of learning, such as shaking hands out of context. The adult uses these types of visuals because the adult assumes that the child understands the words that define the social skill. Like, remember that movie, what's the name of that movie? Rush Hour. Oh yeah, when Chris Tucker was like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And he thought he couldn't talk. So, what was the Chinese guy named Jackie Chan? And Chris Tucker told him, put your bags in the back. He thought, I was like, what, really? He was like, put your bags in the back. He thought, he was assuming that the Chinese, Jackie Chan didn't know English. But he came out and started talking, so he was like, so that's what they're saying. Social skills are products of the learning system. It says, and then it goes on to say that when do you shake hands. Why do you shake hands? Who shakes hands? And so forth. To really understand the social skill of shaking hands, the child needs more pictures about the concepts that underlie what it means to shake hands. Right, so it says, what is the language of pictures important? Why is the language of pictures important for learning to be socially competent? Why is the language of pictures important for learning to be socially competent? So why is the language of pictures? The pictures, to me, pictures give a clear meaning to me. That's why I guess kids, with autism, uh, some of them, don't communicate verbally well, but they can understand mentally. They can understand mentally by looking at you and observing your behavior, looking at pictures. So, you know, so it says, why are most social concepts formal in nature? Words must create pictures. Right. Words create pictures. In other words, I write down the word tree and I can draw a picture of a tree. And that way that autistic child can understand and look at it, they can visualize and understand what a tree, they can understand what a tree looks like. And if you put it, show them a picture of a tree growing out of the ground, then that'll show them how trees are made, where they come from. They come from the ground, then they become trees. Or you can also show them how to plant a tree. Show an autistic child how to plant a tree. Get a little. I have some, but I put them up. I had them out earlier. The little. You can buy those. I forget what they call them things. Those plant little plant things that you can. I think they come with the little seeds, and then you put the little seeds down in the. It's like a little. I forgot the name of it, but it's like it can grow. In other words, it's not the other. It's a different kind, not the one that you just put. You know how you put your soil down and you put your seeds or your flowers that you want to plant, and then you put a little water in there and let it grow. But it was the other. I forgot. I can't even think of it right now. But that would be good for an autistic child. Show them how to plant. Get your little soil. Put some gloves on. Take them out in the yard. Um, Put some, buy the gloves for them and yourself. Take them out in the yard. Make sure you have your little seeds and your little soil. And then just show them how to plant. And then gradually show them how, on a weekly basis, take them right back in the yard to that spot. Or even you can do it in the house. They have it where you can, but you probably don't want to put a lot of, deal with the dirt inside the house. But they got those up. They have the ones that, don't require a lot of dirt. And they can just gradually see how, when they put those seeds in there, how they grow. So, and then it also said the student matches what he writes as motor patterns to the clinician's drawings of concept to go with the writing. But it said to help achieve that, the teacher or clinician draws the meaning of the student's written words. So, it said this means that the student is learning not just the patterns, but the concepts of the curriculum. Remember, thinking necessitates the learning of concepts. Concepts underlie the development of language. Language represents the learner's development of concepts. So, and they have a picture right here where a child is making something. It said developmentally, this picture is not the easiest for a child with limited language. Right, because the picture symbolizes different meanings of the concept make. What shall we make? Who does the making? One could make a cake, make a joke, or make a disaster. So this is just a picture right here. So in other words, it's almost like you have to be, children with children that's slower in learning. Sometimes you have to, but they have a lot of nice programs out here for children with autism. So that is that. This is visual thinking strategies for individuals with autism spectrum disorders. And the name of this book, The Language of Pictures. So this is a good book right here. I ordered this from Amazon too. So, so when I was writing my books, that's when so when I was writing my books, so I felt that, I have basically, and also I have a whole stack of books on autism. So, but I want to be getting into some other topics. And also, so as you can see, I have these bracelets. These I made on my own. So I try to do a lot of business, So I did this one. See, I have so what I do, I make these, so I have, what I did, I ordered the beads, and then I ordered these little things here. Ordered these things here, and then I ordered the beads. So what I did, right here, see, these are some of the other, see, ordered the little beads, and then, you stick them in, and then I ordered the little wire. Order the little wires, and then order these, and and also make my own little bracelets. And these are some more little, the same little bracelets that I have. Also, look, I made a necklace. It's a necklace that I made. So, necklace that I made. So that, little bracelets. So what I do, order the whole kit. All the stuff that I order is, so order all your little, and these are the little silver things. You mix these up in you put these on the little, you have these, and you have your little dough like that. And then you have, and then this is the little, so these, put these in. You have your little, all the different little beads, different little, put them on the little, you have your little wires. So see all these, and also I have, the bags of the little, that's how I made these, You get your bag of the beads right here, and I have these. And then, business ideas. Just think about making these, and making these, and then you have your little beads, and then you have these. You put these on. Put all of them. Get your little wires, and you put which ones you want on there. Make your little bracelets. And this is the, these are the little wires. Take your little wires, put your little beads on like that, and then you have, Beads can be added. In other words, you got your wires, you got your beads, and you have your little wires. So, just something to do. And so there's something to do. And also, these are some more little, these are the hooks. So you take your hooks, got your little wires, you got your hooks. And this is a business within itself. See, I made this, so I'm going to have to get back into, And then, so these right here, I have, I have different color wires. So then I put my beads, beads in the wires. And then so, that's what I have. So, I didn't talk too much about that, but this is just something I, ordered from, and also had me some, knitting material, crochet material, yarn and stuff. So just something to do, just something to do. So I'm gonna get back into making these because I got all my hooks and everything. All my hooks. And this is the one that I made. This is a bracelet, so. Okay, so I think I want to wind it down, but I want to read, I think, a couple more things. One more thing, rather. It's a gentleman we know in our history, and his name is, a couple more things. Charles Darwin. So, gentleman I learned about in Cheryle University, Charles Darwin, or on the origin of species. On the origin of species, Charles Darwin. So, just read. I want to read a couple things. Charles Darwin. Okay, let's see what he's saying. Charles Darwin. Okay, on the origin of species, it says, On the Origin of Species is one of the most important scientific books of all time. It evoked a storm of controversy when it was first published and initiated a revolution in our thinking that continues to this very day. The book deserves to be more widely read and better understood. This reprint of the 1859 first edition will help make it more accessible, although it was originally addressed to the scholarly community and not to the general public. Really? So I learned about Charles Darwin when I was down Cheryle University, Washington, D.C. On the Origin of Species was nevertheless a bestseller, partly because it was written in plain English by an author who realized that the subject matter was difficult and who earnestly wanted to be understood. Because of Darwin's clear, jargon-free style, the modern reader will find the book both accessible and comprehensible. Nevertheless, today's readers may well benefit from a little background material on Darwin and his great work. Charles Darwin was born February 12, 1809. He died April 19, 1882. His father was a wealthy physician, and his mother was the daughter of a major industrialist, Josiah Wedgwood. His grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, 1731, 1802, was one of the very few scientists who argued in favor of evolutionary or proto-evolutionary ideas before the publication of On the Origin of Species. He published views similar to those later put forth by the famous French naturalist Lamarck, 1744 to 1829. When a young Darwin studied medicine at Edinburgh University and later prepared for the ministry at Cambridge, he became familiar with such notions but did not accept them. He considered such ideas subversive and the arguments unconvincing. In 1831, Darwin won a berth as unofficial naturalist and companion to Captain Fitzroy of HMS Beagle during the ship's 5-year voyage. Although he was only in his early 20s, Darwin's observations in the Galapagos Islands, South America, and other places visited by the Beagle enabled him to make major contributions to geology as well as to the understanding of the geographical distribution of plants and animals. His observations of the appearance and behavior of different plant and animal species, notably the finches of the Galapagos, convinced him to consider the possibility of evolution. When he got back to England, it became clear to him from his observations and the study of his specimens that evolution was a fact. Evolution. Only the fittest survive. Charles Darwin. The reason for the long delay in publication are not a simple matter to explain. Among other things, excuse me, Darwin suffered from mysterious ailments that hindered his ability to do research, ailments often exacerbated by stress. Okay, around 1855, Darwin began work on a book intended to explain his evolutionary theory in minute detail with massive documentation. Okay, Darwin gave up on the long book he had planned and wrote instead a much briefer one entitled On the Origin of Species. I'm trying to see if I can finally get to the point. Okay, okay. In his work, Darwin endeavored to show both that evolution has in fact occurred and that natural selection has been the main, if not the exclusive, cause of the process. He especially wished to show that descent with modification provided a much better explanation for the facts of biology and geology than the vague creationist notions that were still popular, and he carefully crafted his arguments with that end in mind. Darwin's reasoning provides a good example of the so-called hypothetical deductive scientific method in action. His statements toward the front of the book about having patiently collected facts and then having allowed himself to speculate are quite misleading. Okay, what Darwin called artificial selection provided an analogy that made it easier to explain natural selection to his readers. It says, Darwin shows that organisms in general are highly variable and that artificial selection has indeed proven effective in producing useful variants in agriculture. Darwin thereby invented modern ecology. In the natural world, there is reproductive competition between organisms of the same species. Those who have what it takes to outcompete the others are like the ones selected by the breeder in artificial selection. The nature of artificial selection allows for parental care and such alliances as for families, but unlike natural selection, the organisms do not evolve adaptations that exist for the good of the species, much less for the welfare of nature as a whole. The lack of such adaptations among artificially selected species and their presence among naturally selected varieties provided strong confirmation of Darwin's theory. Furthermore, competitive success means not only surviving but reproducing. In other words, only the fittest survive. Only the fittest survive. So if you're not fit, you can't survive. You can't reproduce. So that's part of what Darwin was talking about. The existence of a third kind of selection, which Darwin calls sexual selection, provided him with a compelling argument for the importance of sexual selection as a driving force of evolution. Darwin's chapter on the laws of variation takes the position that the origin of variations is an orderly affair, and that treating variations as a matter of chance is to misconstrue what really goes on. For Darwin, what actually evolves are the developmental processes that give rise to the fully formed organism. Although he owed much of to his French predecessors, Geoffrey Saint Hilaire, for this insight. Darwin was the first to study evolution from that developmental point of view, which became fashionable again as Avo Davo beginning in the 1980s. In developing and defending his thesis, Darwin considered a number of features that might at first seem difficult to account for by means of gradual transformation through natural selection. One of these difficult features was a complex structure like the vertebrate eye. Through his study of fossils and living specimens, Darwin was able to show that it was possible for even an exquisitely sensitive organ such as the eye to evolve over the course of millions of years, vertebrate evolution. Uh, Darwin then proceeded to make evolutionary sense out of the systems of classification that existed at the time. Animals and plants had been arranged in systems of groups within groups. But why was this possible? Darwin proposed that each group was descended from a common ancestor, and the larger groups had a remoter common ancestry than the smaller ones of which they were composed. Classification was, or at least could be, a genealogy. Groups of animals and plants had often been characterized by saying that there was a unity of type or a common plan for their anatomy, with variations upon a common theme. So a lot of people contradicted what he was saying about. Basically, he talked about only the fittest survive, and he's talking about plants and animals, those different species. If they were not fit, they would not survive and go on to reproduce. So reproduce. So let me see. That's what I took from studying him when I was in college. But this book right here, I just ordered this from Amazon because I was so fascinated with what he was talking about. See, it said it took Charles Darwin more than 20 years to publish this book, in part because he realized that it would ignite a firestorm of controversy. So, just like a lot of those philosophers that I studied about, Plato, Socrates, John Locke, different ones back in the day, they have controversial views that, could ignite a firestorm. It says on the origin of species first appeared in 1859, and it remains a continuous source of conflict to this day. So if you get a chance, read up on this Charles Darwin. I was just trying to read a few little passages from the book. I'm trying to see what else they have in it, but you can always check this book out. Sometimes you can go online. It's a whole lot in this book to read. But this book was written by Charles Darwin. This is it says Dover Thrift Editions, Charles Darwin on the Origin of Species. Yep, he wrote this book himself. So he's not, he dead now, but So I gave the year. I don't have, So, you get a chance, check out this book right here, Origin of Species. So that's good. And I just want to, this book right here, How to Dream Your Lucky Lotto Numbers. So, just a couple things out because I'm up to an hour now. So in other words, your dreams, well, it says how to dream your lucky lotto number. So in other words, you dream certain things. It says the sum of the value of the letters of flying birds is 56. But if you play, they got a misprint in here. But if you play the lotto number, don't go this high. You add the two figures 5 and 6 to find the number to be played. So in other words, if you dream about flying birds, it says, look, the sum of the value of flying birds is 56. So in other words, they're writing it out. They're writing it out. See her? So you see the words on the side, the flying birds, and they give you the number for that particular. So you look at it, it said the flying birds. So that's a cool way. The flying, or let's say theater, or the flying. I'm trying to see. Oh, I see flying right there. Oh, it says fly. Okay, flying opera. Okay, I see flying birds. I do see flying birds. See, you look over there when you see birds, and then you see flying. So they're telling you that you can pick those numbers, and that's how you can. Yeah, because then it says, and then they have different items. It says considerations on the system is likely that too many people it's likely that to many people this relationship between dreams and numbers could seem totally non-existent. But before dismissing the whole thing as a lot of hogwash, let's make a few considerations. According to some researchers, through our dreams we have access to a dimension common to every person, sometimes called the collective unconscious. They say that this dimension is out of our usual concept of time. So there is no past, no future, just an everlasting present where whatever happen or will happen, coexist. If we accept this theory as true, once we reach this dimension, we may get the knowledge of facts yet to happen, like which numbers will be picked in the next draw. Unfortunately, our personal unconscious has the bad habit of using symbols to deliver the information through our dreams. Therefore, in order to understand these symbols, most of the time we need the help of a psychoanalyst, a witch doctor, a shaman, or a Neapolitan dream interpreter, according to the culture we belong. So I mean, sometimes when you dream, you want to find out, what do my dreams mean? Really? Mm-hmm. So you be like, what do my dreams mean? Really? That's what it means? Really? So, um, but interpreting our dreams is really. So, they saying cry. If you dream about crying, that's the number 24, the number 51. It shows nostalgic and lonely feelings, but you can be sure to receive good news or a valuable gift. Joy will fill your house. Dance. You enjoy the light aspects of life. The child hidden in you is having a great time. You can expect very good fortune. If you see other people dancing, the good fortune is limited to your business. So if you dream about dance and you see other people dancing, so if you see other people dancing, the good fortune is limited to your business. You may expect very good fortune, or the child hidden in you is having a great time. So they're giving you numbers, numbers for different things that you may dream about. So, and then, so I ordered this book right here too from Amazon. So, and then the other book, I think I read something of the other book, but I'm gonna close out in a few minutes, about a minute or two. I'm already at an hour. Look, so in other words, then they have the numbers for the month. You have the numbers for the month. Excuse me. So you see January, January. The numbers for the month of January. January is 13. Then we have February. What's that? 8. No, February 5, March 4, April 3. Some people give importance to the number of the astrological sign of the dreamer. So, you know what, where if you the person that's dreaming, at the bottom right there, and you got Capricorn, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, different ones. So in other words, if you are the one doing the dreaming, look at your sign. and then you use that number, and then you can put the rest of the numbers together. So this is a cute little book that I ordered from. If you dream about a donkey, you dream about a dog. If you dream of petting a nice dog, you tend to be altruistic, and luck will be with you. So they have the numbers for that, 18 and 29. You dream about a dog. They say, on the contrary, a snarling dog means that you are selfish and egotistical, and it is time for you to change your attitude. If you dream about a barking dog, it's a danger for married people. It is a warning against temptation. You dream about a hunting dog, means strength and self-assurance. If the dog is white, it brings very good luck. So in other words, you dream about a white dog, that's good luck. You dream about a hunting dog, that means strength and self-assurance. You dream about a barking dog, that means that you have danger in your marriage, that you might be tempted to go out there and cheat. You dream about a snarling dog, that means that you are selfish and egotistical, and it is time for you to change your attitude. If you dream about petting a nice dog, you tend to be altruistic, and luck will be with you. So I never really dreamt about a dog. I dreamt about a little baby, little baby's walking around on the floor. I'm like, like my granddaughter, she's a year and a half, so, I have, that would be that's the smallest baby we have in our family right now. My son's daughter, she'll be 2 in September. So that's all YouTubers that I have for today. And so I gave you the information on the coronavirus. So I gave you the information on that. I talked about Charles Darwin. I talked about the Dream book. And then I also talked about visual thinking. And I also talked about my book, my book, My Brother Billy is Different. And also, I ordered the stuff that I ordered from Amazon. So, making your own bracelets and stuff like that. And also, I have, like I said, I have everything in here, my little, the wires. These are the, the little things that you put your wires on, and then you have this right here, so that helps out. So, but, just something to do that I have, I want to order, I do have nail polish stuff, but I want to order a whole kit where I can, do your, you get your, so, I constantly keep my nails done. I do my own nails. And like I said, this is the bracelets that I make. So, business within itself. Making bracelets. This one right here. This is a necklace. And then, so, then you do your own hair. Do your own nails. Make your own jewelry. So, it's something to do. So, make your own bracelets and stuff. So I want to end it on this note today, YouTubers, so I can prepare for my next video. So all about business, business is business for everything. Making jewelry, doing nails, doing hair. So, so I want to end it on this note. I want to say thanks for joining me today, YouTubers. The Cheryle Hubbard Show. I hope to see you back here again. Same place, same time, same channel. The Cheryle Hubbard Show. And hope to see you back here again. Same place, same time, same channel. So I want to say I'll see you next time on the Cheryle Hubbard Show. You all have a good one.